the idea of having a huge rager the night before your wedding, it's a theme in movies and shows, and it stresses me out.
It took me a second to realize you didn't mean boner. To have a huge rager. For some reason, I thought you meant the other kind of rager.
I understood you because my head's not in the gutter.
Yeah, sorry.
Like a 12-year-old.
Sorry.
Yeah.
11. Go ahead. So tell us more about the rager.
That just stresses me out.
Yeah. Sorry, I threw you off.
Just a huge boner before your wedding stresses you out. We gotta go.
Got it, yeah.
Go.
No boners till afterwards.
Go. Don't let him stop you.
YUNKJunk! Hey, what's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? Welcome to the Body Swap-tastic Cult Pop Podcast, episode 103.
Yep.
One of the longest running comic book and pop culture podcasts. You're welcome.
Check it.
Where we talk about movies and comics and TV, the nature of self, sometimes, and all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itches. We're coming to you live from YUNKJunk HQ here in Manayunk.
Yep. Manayunk.
And no, it's too late.
Oh, damn it. I'm your host, JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex.
JD.
Perfect. Located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to you specifically, so get in there and buy my stuff. With me tonight to talk, Alice.
That's me. I thought you said JD's Hero Complex catered to me specifically. And now you're saying it caters to them specifically?
I was going to say like you.
You.
Uh-huh. The
Just
viewer,
you.
the
It's
listener.
going to cater to you, whoever you are. No one else.
Just you.
I thought it was just me.
It is just.
Okay.
But it's just you. Also in the booth is our trusty producer, Dylan.
Ew.
Dylan, if anyone's watching, good for them. But if they're watching and want to know more about YUNKJunk HQ, what do they do?
I'll tell you what to do. Look at the bottom of the screen and you'll find my email. And if you send that email a message about wanting to start a podcast, I will respond to it. And
You will.
we will start a podcast.
In a
And-
timely manner? Was it like a 48 hours or a...
Oh, yeah.
72?
Let's say 24
Did we
hours.
introduce
24
Less,
hours?
Or less.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I
Noel.
stay on top of my emails.
It doesn't matter.
Noel's here too.
It's fine.
I was like, who's this guy? I don't know who he is.
So anywhomst, we're here tonight to discuss a brand new sci-fi horror flick streaming on Netflix right meow. But before we do all that, a gentle reminder that if you're here live, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you know when we're doing all this nasty fun stuff. Also, we love a little back and forth, so pipe up in the chat. It's over here. We can see it. Sam C saying, watching. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Speaking of emails, we got letters.
We have letter?
Oh, we have lots and lots and lots and lots of...
Letter.
This one is called...
Just right off a cliff. Letter. It's at the top. Well, it was at the top.
Oh, there
no,
it
it
is.
is. Have to miss the live show
It's
tonight.
called Have to Miss the Live Show Tonight for an early showing of Wicked. I'll let you know how it is.
Curious.
The subject of the email continues thusly. Do y'all ever avoid something because it's overhyped so fast or because it's been around for so long that it's so well loved you're worried you won't love it like everyone else? I saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and The Fifth Element for the first time recently, and they were just okay. Fifth Element was the better of the two, mainly because it reminded me of The Mummy, Frasier's Mummy, and Stargate, but with effects that don't hold up as well.
There's
I'm gonna kill you.
There's a lot to... No, hang on. There's a lot to get into.
You're almost
Yeah,
you're almost there.
almost at
You're
Alice.
like,
Yeah, like,
Alice, I've
You're
almost got
on
Alice
Alice.
arms. Go ahead.
that's only a visual gag.
I know. Sorry, everybody listening audio.
So there's a couple of facets to this. To answer the first question personally, yes, I do sometimes avoid something if I'm inundated with everyone telling me that I must and I will and it's being quoted everywhere, and I feel an aversion to that sometimes. Like I guess is this an old reference? I didn't see Borat until like 5 years later because
that's an old reference.
I couldn't fucking stand everyone poorly quoting it.
I've still
poorly-
never seen it.
You're fine.
Like this.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. There
And then there's other stuff that I really enjoyed, but then when, popular culture got a hold of it, it almost ruined it a little bit. Like I remember seeing Austin Powers like opening weekend and thought just me and my best friend thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And then it was just everywhere and it became like grating. Like it's not a joke anymore. It's like noise. So I get that. What have I avoided recently?
I remember we've had this conversation a bunch where you're just like, nah. I'm like, but it's really, nah. You just decide not to do it because everyone tells you to do it, or like things you haven't seen ever because you're like, nah. God, it was a big one too, and it was years ago. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like at this point probably a classic, and you were just like, nah. And you watched something recently, and you were like, I didn't really care about it.
Game of Thrones.
Even though I love
House of the Dragon. I'm just gonna start listing things.
Actually, that's not a terrible example. I got so bored with the first season that everyone's all about it.
Which one, House of Dragon or
Yeah,
Game
House
of
of
Thrones?
Dragon.
Yeah, I still watched. I liked the first season, but I still have to watch the second one.
I bet
but
you
yes, I get
Christopher
that.
saying Saucy Goodnight, when he gets around to listening / watching this episode, he will remember the thing we're talking about. So
Yeah,
Chris
that
saying
happens all the
Saucy, let
time.
us know.
I try.
Email us.
I'm not a pre-hater. It's just sometimes I don't feel I just don't feel it.
When other people are excited about it, unless it's people I hate. If it's a bunch of people I hate, like let's say, just to pull a name out of a hat, Dave Matthews Band. And I
Host is gonna be so.
they
sad.
are, listen,
Hey,
they are,
me and Costa will enjoy it. Costa and I. Sorry,
they
Costa.
are talented. They are a
Okay,
talented
okay.
group of folks. But no, he's not a yarler. He did not yarl. They're good.
Somebody has never heard it. Man.
He heed and hawed. He didn't yarl. It
Thank
wasn't like
you.
it wasn't like Pearl Jam, but it was like.
Well, I mean, I didn't do like a. It's like not a. It's
I'm
not
so
a.
upset Coast isn't in the chat right now to hear all this.
But I hated everyone who I was
But
aware
I'm
of that
saying-
loved them sucked. And so I hated them so much. I hated them because of the people who liked them,
No, that's totally fair.
which
Yeah.
is dumb.
So when he says overhyped, I don't immediately think that that's everyone likes it. I don't. Overhyped means everyone's pushing me towards it, and I just give me some space.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes it. I don't want to just to be antagonistic. It's more like I'd rather make space for something else that I know I want, not everyone telling me
Yeah.
I have to experience this.
Sure.
That does kind of
I-
tick me off. I don't know.
I get worried sometimes that I'm on the other side of this, where I'm the one overhyping it, because something about me is I don't know how to like things in a chill way. I either love it or I'm uninterested. I either make it my entire personality for like a couple months, and then like I'll rotate through the same things every once in a while, making them my same personality. And like I get worried I'm an overhyper, so I always try to like purposely tone it down. To the point where whenever I text my brother about a show that I think he'll like, I'll try to like really, really play it cool.
Okay.
And
Hey,
he'll
it's
know,
cool. No big deal. Like, this is
he'll
the
know.
kind of-
He's like, you are obsessed with this because you're playing it way too cool. I'm like, I don't know how to talk to you about it because I don't know how to talk to anyone about it without being annoying, but I love it so much.
I can't go hard. I can't go soft.
I don't know what to
Completely
do.
unrelated. Feel free to ask Alice about Scream when you see her in person.
Yeah.
Oh, what this?
Yeah, that one. Do y'all ever avoid something? You do. I don't. But also,
I get it though. I do some like
It's not, is it
Yeah.
avoid, like I don't like, it's not the plague. It's just like I'm going to make time for it when I make time for it. Not
Yeah.
I have to be on this train because everyone's on it. Like
Yeah.
it's fine.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is wonderful, and The Fifth Element is awesome.
I'm going to defend Chris.
Okay.
I do think that both of them are great.
Yeah.
But they are the first of their kind, and they have both been redone or
Referenced.
reassessed or referenced or recreated ad nauseum since then.
Yeah.
So just seeing them now for the first time, there is no magic.
Yeah.
It's just
I
Look at
imagine
this.
it's like going back and watching The Matrix if you haven't seen it yet,
maybe
right?
because everyone. Well,
It's such a
think,
big thing.
No, I think a better pull is probably Die Hard. I've never seen Die Hard, but I've seen tons and tons of other action movies, and everyone
Die
told
Hard
me it was
was-
the greatest thing in the world, and it was
Yeah.
just fine
Yeah.
because it was the first that everything kind of like cookie cutted off of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Cookie cut off of, cookie cutted,
Cutted.
cookie cat,
Cookie cat. Cookie cat.
cookie off. But I'm actually
He left
afraid
his
to.
family behind.
I want to rewatch The Fifth Element. I haven't in a while.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but
I mean,
I love that movie.
I did too, but all the luster of Luc Besson is gone. The special effects probably don't hold up. It's from 1997, 6. Yeah, 94 actually.
Big bada boom.
Maybe, and there's probably a shit ton of problematic stuff I'm avoiding in that movie.
There's that problematic thing of like Born Yesterday.
There's a lot of tropes,
Female, yeah.
and then again, when you know more about Luc Besson, it's terrible.
Wait, what's
later.
So
boy.
anyway, thank you so much for emailing us, Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight. Feel free to email us back and let us know the thing we were talking about that Noel hated. Because I don't remember.
Oh, I think I got some static for not like worshiping at the ground that the crow rests on. I think it's just really good.
No, it's
Did
not.
I get shit for that?
No.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I didn't think it was a good action movie.
That's what it was.
And I got shit for that.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
It's
Online, not from us.
It's a great drama. but it's-
I had multiple accounts online bullying Noel.
Just bullying Noel. Yeah.
That was all me.
So we're going to do the What's Poppin' segment, which is I ask my friends here what has been poppin' for them this week. Hey, Alice.
Me.
What's poppin'?
I watched a show that I've been meaning to watch for a while, mainly because it's hosted by Matthew Lillard.
Oh,
from
God
Scream.
damn it. Come on.
From Scream. See, I don't know how to like it. I don't know how to like him in a chill way. I love him so much.
Jesus.
I love him.
How do you feel about the Scooby-Doo movies?
I love him. See, I didn't even say I love the Scooby-Doo movie. I said I love him. I love him.
God damn it.
Did you watch the Netflix or the Twin Peaks miniseries?
I didn't actually.
Wait, was he in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lillard?
Yeah.
Oh,
In
Lillard,
the Return, Twin
I have
Peaks: The
watched
Return.
13 Ghosts of that.
But have you seen SLC Punk?
Oh, no. I know.
Ah,
That's like
that's
his.
next up.
That's his. He's most proud of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the clips of him in
Anyway, where were you? What's poppin'?
it. Matthew
cakes.
Lillard.
Matthew
That's
Lillard be
what
popping.
He makes cakes.
No, he judges cakes or he hosts Killer Cakes competition on Amazon Prime. And the premise is these people who love horror movies and are also cake artists make horror themed cakes.
How
And
have I not heard about this till now?
She's talked about it a couple times.
I've sent it to the chat.
Shit.
That's okay.
Also, are you in the demographic of like baking competition shows?
So I will say two things I love: horror and baking shows.
Yeah.
And these cakes that they make are disgusting. And they get special effects like movie special effects makeup artists to come help them.
Movie theater special
theater.
effects. It's just like sticky floors.
It's just sticky floors. The scariest thing of all. Movie special effects makeup artists come to help them do certain tricks with their cakes. So there's an element of the cakes that the judges don't know. Like something's gonna pop out at them. Something's gonna spray at them.
It's gotta be a scary cake?
It's a scary cake.
That's kind of cool.
And so the first episode, the challenge is they have to create a killer. And that's not one of them on the show. I think that's one of the like artists
It's fun.
Who goes on to the show?
who is onto the show. But
Holy cats.
they have to create a cake that's a killer. And they also have to create a weapon for the judges to kill the killer. So the judges have to take like a cake weapon and stab their cake killer. It's crazy.
It sounds really cheesy.
I just
It's
noticed.
so good. And the cakes, they're disgusting. And that's me saying that. They
Like,
are
wait,
gross looking
I'm sorry.
cakes. And they're supposed to be.
Like you wouldn't eat them?
I mean, they're edible.
They're edible.
Everything's edible.
And they like once they cut into it, it looks like a delicious cake. But from the outside, it's absolutely disgusting.
My wife and I got married, and our cake, because we got married in October, half of it was just fall leaves, and then the other side was Freddy Krueger slashes.
This is one of the cakes.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
And it pukes blood.
That's hot.
And like when
I
they
gotta watch
stab it,
this.
it squirts blood on them.
I just noticed that your earrings are guillotines, and that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got them. I got them on Etsy, and I forget the seller's name. But
Oh,
I
that's
will
fine.
remember it and talk about it next time because
Jerk.
I'll probably wear them next week.
So to answer your question, during the pandemic, I quite enjoyed the British baking show.
Oh, Great British Bake Off.
Oh my
Everyone likes
God,
that
it's
one.
so sweet and
It's
like
a
calming.
comfort show. Yeah.
And like everybody on the show tries to help each other.
Yeah.
There were
Like that's completely unlike any other reality show I've seen.
there are two that we watched. As my wife is a big baker.
I
and
adore baking, she
she adores
says.
baking. There's a couple that we've watched. She'll put it on, and I'll be disinterested and like read or play video games at the same time. But then eventually, I'll just get dragged in.
Yeah.
With the plots.
I
But-
just love a baking show.
But the two that come to mind, there was like a chocolate one.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
ever gone to like
The
a
chocolate sculptor?
Yeah.
one? Yeah, we watched that too.
watch that in one clip? Everything looked completely inedible, but still very pretty.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the Big Brunch. It was on Max.
Mm-mm.
Ooh,
It was
that's
basically
fun.
just like brunch competitions, and Levy was one of the hosts.
Eugene?
No.
Dan.
Sean.
Dan Levy was one
Yeah.
of the hosts, and it was just the judges got drunk and had brunch with
sounds
these
incredible.
chefs. It was really, really
sounds
wonderful.
This is really fun. They have some really cool guests that are like the judges. I won't give it away because it's a cool guest.
They're all murder.
They're all
Heather
actual
Langenkamp every week.
murderers.
Murderers, yeah.
Yeah. But Matthew Lillard seems to be having like a really fun time with it.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
He's going around. He did one of my favorite lines from Scream. He went over and he's like, "This one's making me a little woozy here," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you're so corny. I love you."
I love that.
There's
He's no Sharon Stone.
No.
There's like 4.
Sorry.
There's only how many episodes? There's only like 4 or 5 episodes, right?
There's only 2.
Oh, really?
I don't
Of
know
this
how
show?
there's only 2 out now. I only watched the first one. I still have to. I'm gonna go home and watch the second one.
I'm gonna
but
watch it.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It was
That sounds
fun.
cool.
Themed cooking shows are like
There was another.
girl can't swing a
cooking-
dead cat and not hit a themed cooking show.
It's kind of like a cooking show, and it's this woman, and I don't remember her name, but she has this sort of Wednesday Addams Family vibe,
Oh,
and she's got like puppets.
Yes, I loved that show. Oh, the Curiosities of some.
It's 17 words in the title.
Yeah.
I tried watching it.
It's a little too cheesy for me,
yeah.
It was like Mr. Rogers.
but the idea was so
but
cool.
for goths.
But for goths, yeah.
But it, like I wanted to see her make the stuff, not like the
Feed it to
boring
Muppets.
as hell plot with the Muppets and her house,
Her
and she
haunted
lives in. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
It seemed like a really, really good TikTok that was spread out to 35 minutes, and I was like, I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
Hey,
You,
me.
what have you been? What's Poppin?
What's pooping? So
Curious Creations of Christine McConnell.
There you go.
one more time.
Curious Creations of Christine McConnell.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead.
Nice alliteration.
Mhm.
So there was a show and it was an anime and a manga that I grew up with. It was the first anime I think I ever watched besides Akira, and the first manga I ever read, along with Maizani Koku. And these were both by very, very prolific, top-selling mangaka called Rumiko Takahashi was her name. And Ranma 1/2 was the anime show manga. And it's about a little boy, Ranmei Saltume, and his dad Genma, who are they're both into martial arts, and they go to a bunch of springs with a bunch of poles that you can like hop around on and do kung fu on, like that old classic bit. Except there's also a bunch of little puddles, and every time one of them falls into a puddle, it's like, oh, that's the sad story of a girl who drowned 100 years ago. And so now, because Ranma fell into that, he's now cursed to when he's hit with cold water, he becomes a girl. And when he's hit with hot water, he becomes a boy again. And his dad fell into a hot spring where sadly a panda drowned 100 years ago. And so when he gets hit with cold water, he becomes a giant wordless panda who speaks through signs. Very Looney Tunes. And then when he gets hot with hot water, he becomes human again. And it's very silly and it's very fun. And the Ranma and this girl whose dad owns another martial arts dojo, they get betrothed. And there's a lot of like wacky hijinks and kung fu and stuff like that. And it's really, really fun. So all that is to say,
I love wacky hijinks.
right?
Yeah.
I love so many different types of hijinkery.
Sounds like the plot of every anime I've ever seen.
That's not true.
Joke.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no,
This
I
is
was like,
very specific.
I don't watch anime, so I'm like,
Because they're
really?
usually like pretty fantastical,
Yeah.
pretty wild, and very convoluted
Yeah.
as a feature.
Not a book.
Not a
Yeah.
book.
So it's sort of like an action romance comedy, and it's delightful. All that is to say that Netflix just rebooted it. And so there was a brand new animated version of it on Netflix, and they're dropping weekly,
Cool.
and it is awesome. I highly recommend, if you are even kind of mildly into anime, maybe give it a shot. I loved it.
Subbed or dubbed?
I'm going to be honest. I'm so used to subbed that I don't really clock it anymore. It could be dubbed or subbed. In my memory, I don't remember.
Oh no, I mean the new one.
Right.
Wait.
I don't
what?
remember if it's in English or if I read the subtitles.
How long ago did you watch it?
Like last week. What I'm saying is it doesn't register in my brain. I'm either listening to it or I'm reading it, and
Oh.
both are the same to me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because like it's more like I'll think back to it. I'm like, no, I can imagine them saying that in English and like the character's face saying those words. But
Also,
like,
what
I
I
know that I
think-
read it.
What I think helps is that I watch every single thing with subtitles on now.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say,
even
I
if
do
it's in
that.
English,
Yeah.
I'm reading it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would definitely check out Ranma 1/2. Also, it feels very progressive for the time, very trans forward.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it didn't mean to be. I've seen a lot of articles by trans folk who that was sort of their, like, what would you call it? Impetus or like sort
Awakening?
of awakening?
Mhm.
Yeah, awakening is a good one. Yeah.
Last Airbender.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what I just don't really care for or care about. And everyone tells me
Whoa.
I
So
need to.
good.
That
Blah, blah,
is-
blah. And you're like,
I've tried it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself.
DL.
Really?
Oh, DL posts in the
I'll go
chat
another rant.
saying both.
I don't
And
disagree with you.
Yeah,
I think that
I just
means
don't.
both dub and sub are available. for the
Okay.
new one.
Yeah, I meant it's a reboot. I meant because like, Delicious in Dungeons, it's like only sub. I
Is it?
didn't know what,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
But yeah, the original show was on from 91 to 94, but then didn't last very long because the ratings weren't good. So I'm hoping the ratings for this are good so they can actually finish it.
Mm.
So that's what's been popping for me this week. Hey, Noel,
Yeah.
what's been popping for you?
I have been in a couple of fights online and I want to use this platform to bitch about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Thank you, DL, by the way.
I'm going
dub
to get
and sub.
my
Yeah.
arms ready.
So, one of the and we talked about this a little bit before the show, and you guys don't completely agree with me, which I find just fucking crushing. But
You brought me onto your side. Keep going. Keep going. You convinced me with one of your arguments.
So in one of the Facebook groups that I still engage with is theater goers. It's like a Regal thing. And there's a person in the group who consistently every single movie he goes and sees, he takes a picture of the screen during the movie to share it to say, I saw this today. Woohoo.
Yeah. We have a friend who did that.
I know.
You called him out.
I did.
Yeah.
And
Like, publicly.
did I?
Yeah. It was like on Facebook.
Oh, well, you know what?
Called him
I'm-
out in the town
I'm
square.
consistent.
And you're
Yeah,
like,
you are. It's true. Nothing if not. Nothing
Whatever.
if not.
Yeah. Still like the guy, but come on.
Yeah.
I think it's wildly uncouth. But besides that, it's like, what was I saying? Oh, every time he does, I nicely message like, please don't do this. Whether there's people around you or not, you sharing a picture of the movie in play is wildly uncouth and incredibly disruptive. And just sharing it too kind of like is allowing or permission for other people to do it.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't. Never take out your fucking phone during a movie at all. And I always get pushback from all of these avid moviegoers about like, well, no one was around and oh, my screen is hidden in my chest and I just took a quick. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And it's always a contentious argument. And then I started like really thinking like, what's the purpose of it?
Right.
Why do you need a still image to share of a movie in play? What's the function that doesn't get achieved by just taking a picture of the goddamn poster outside the theater?
Yeah.
That's what brought me on your side. I was like, oh, yeah.
That's a good point.
mm.
You're
Just
just
take a
like,
picture of the
if
picture.
you want everyone to know you're at the movies, it doesn't have to be. It's like a proof of life picture.
Yeah.
Why? Like I was here. Like is he working on an alibi?
Right.
He could do that with a tag. Doesn't have to do that by disrupting the movie for everyone around him.
Yeah.
So like it is a giant bee in my bonnet, and I
haven't heard that in a while.
Theater etiquette is so incredibly important to me and special to me.
It is a church.
It's church.
It's church. We've said this before.
It's a black box. The only light source should be the immersive experience in front of you, not Steve's cell phone
That
on the
drives me
lowest
nuts.
setting that you could still see.
Mm.
And there
At
are
least-
still people that defend it. And I'm like, you're wrong.
I'm at least
You're
thankful
objectively
when
wrong.
it's on the lowest light setting. There are people who just don't give a shit and they'll just be like, bright as the fucking sun. I'm going to hold it up here.
We went to go see a movie together last year. We saw Thanksgiving, and there was a group of people in front of us taking selfies with the flash.
Yeah.
And we were all literally
God,
like,
that's
"Are
right.
you kidding?"
I couldn't believe
and like it was they were taking selfies, and we were behind them. So the flash was like hitting us. We're like,
during the movie.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it wasn't. And
It was like before the film.
Have you ever been outside before? Don't do this.
I do think that
I forgot about that.
there's some concessions too. So like a lot of times now movie theaters or movies want you to share it on social. They will have a still image before the movie of like Wicked with a QR code.
That's cool.
Take a picture of that.
Now's the
Rad.
time, dummies.
When the house lights go down, that's usually when the trailers, there's 2 sets of house lights, everybody.
Tell me about
The
it.
first set is from nothing to previews. It's like a 30%. It's dark, but it's not super dark. The second set of house lights after the trailers are over and the movie starts, nothing should be lit up except the screen for
What
the duration
about
of
the walkway?
That honestly, if it's too bright, that's also annoying. Yeah,
It
'cause
happened to you last week.
it happened to me
Yeah.
last week, and that's just also like that. But that's like a function of the theater, not someone's an asshole.
Mhm.
Like the 2 totally different things. And then like on this thread I was on too, some guy made a bunch of edgy jokes about. He mentioned this like actual person. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I looked it up, and it was in 2007 or 10. In Florida, a retired police officer that shot a dude in the movie theater who
I remember this.
went after his phone. I'm like, that's why I don't say anything during the movie.
Yeah.
Because you're a fucking asshole and you think that it was so wild. But yeah, that's what's been popping with me. The fact that I
I'm so
have
sorry.
these stupid arguments with people online.
Strangers.
And like what makes you so fucking entitled that you are the main character in the movie theater?
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with
Stop
I
it.
agree with all this. To 100%. Except I will say that if it's
Except when it's him and
Except when
he's
it's
taking a
me,
picture because he
and I'm
does it
taking
different
a
than everybody
selfie.
else.
that's great.
Yeah.
And everyone should love it. No, like if the credits for the film are at the beginning of the movie and there's not a 15-minute cold open and then all of a sudden, but if it's in the very beginning of the movie, if you want to take like a quick that doesn't bother me. If you're in the middle of a film and I'm like trying to engage and be immersed into what's happening and I'm looking at your cell phone, I hate you forever. So
no.
I feel like there's like a grace period of a couple of minutes and then, but yeah,
No quarter, no measure. No.
for me.
I do think that how a movie is even introduced is important to how, like, the tone that is set, the
Sure.
theme that is set, the music, how it stings, the way that they decide and the order that the fucking production companies come up. All of that is a part of
The experience.
the process.
Sure.
So no, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You're wrong.
I won't kill you, but Noel will.
Yeah. Like, also too, it's expensive to go to the fucking movies.
Oh.
It's not your living room.
Yeah.
Put your phone away
No,
forever.
the people who want to chat through a whole movie and everything, I'm like, you paid so much money to be here.
When I went and saw what's the
Well-
island?
yeah, blink
Do this to me
twice.
again.
Blink
Blink
twice.
twice. When I went and saw Blink Twice, the dude 3 seats from me had his phone out the entire movie and was just like half watching it like you do on the couch.
Mhm.
Like he was just like scrolling like, oh, that's crazy. And
he's blinking
it
twice.
was on the lowest setting and he
Finally.
was
Someone blinked twice.
it was on the
guys.
lowest setting. It was like 3 seats from me, but I could still fucking
Yeah, you can
see
still see it.
everything.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
And it doesn't matter how close you hold it and how low,
Yeah.
it's still incredibly disruptive. And no, I'm not gonna, well, maybe you should say something to him. Like, I don't know who
Get
this
shot.
fucking
No.
guy is.
Yeah.
No,
No, don't do it.
Anyway, sorry. That's what's been popping for my blood pressure this week.
Do you feel better?
No, because we
Is it
weren't
worse?
100% on his
Is it
side at
worse?
first, and now he's mad.
Oh no. I mean, I was pretty confident I could probably convince you guys because it's important, but it gets there's more later
Join us next
week.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out my phone right now and just
For
take a
Noel's,
picture. Of this.
what's grinding
This
my
is what
gears?
grinds my gears.
Yeah.
And it's all about going to the movies.
This is my bonnet full of bees. So we're going to move on to our main review, which is for a film on Netflix called It's What's Inside. It's got a 79% on Rotten Tomato. It's written and directed by Greg Jardin, starring Brittany O'Grady, James Morosini, Gavin Leatherwood. That can't be real.
It's an insane name,
That's
and
like
I love it.
That's like a Skinamax.
That's the guy that plays Dennis. His name is Gavin Leatherwood.
Nice.
I hope to God it's not a stage name.
It's like the guy in Harry Potter who plays Oliver Wood. His name is Sean Biggerstaff.
Wow. Oh, and David
Ollie
Thompson.
Wood is played by Sean Biggerstaff.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
He's just a nice little Scott.
None of
Scottish
that's
guy.
real. That didn't happen.
It is.
We've all been gaslit into thinking that that's a real person in a real movie with a real name. Didn't happen.
The internet tells me about this. Tells me this about the film. A group of friends gather for a pre-wedding party that descends into an existential nightmare when an estranged friend arrives with a mysterious game that awakens long-hidden secrets, desires, and grudges. So I will start us off. I did not know anything about this movie going in, which is my favorite way to watch a movie. Besides having someone taking selfies in front of me. I love that too. And I didn't really know what to expect, but I was sort of getting vibes of certain movies that I've appreciated recently, like Bodies, and what have you. It feels like the current generation of kind of horror movies, but kind of thrillers. So yeah, I just plopped it on for Ishton giggles way before I even knew that we were going to be talking about it here. And I have to say, without spoilers, by the way, we will tell you when we're getting into spoilers. This was one of the most fun, unexpectedly fun experiences I've had on Netflix in a really long time. The direction, the different techniques that they employ to tell stories, tell backstories and stuff was just, I was flabbergasted at what a good time this movie is and how much fun the whole cast seemed to be having with it. So that's kind of my take on It's What's Inside. I'm not going to spoil what is actually about until spoilers. I don't think we should yet.
Yeah, no, well,
Because that's kind of the part of the fun.
yeah.
Yeah. But just for a base level, 5 stars. I really like this. Maybe 4.5.
Let's let Alice go first.
So I knew a little bit more than you going into it. I won't say what it is, but I knew what the mysterious game was and what it involved.
Same.
And that it would
Before going
awaken
into it.
long-hidden secrets and grudges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I knew the premise of that, and I was intrigued. I will just say also, the idea of having a huge rager the night before your wedding, it's a theme in movies and shows, and it stresses me out.
It took me a second to realize you didn't mean boner. To have a huge rager. For some reason, I thought you meant the other kind of rager.
I
No.
understood you because my head's not in the gutter.
Yeah, sorry.
Like a 12-year-old.
Sorry.
Yeah.
11. Go ahead. So tell us more
Anyway,
about the rager.
that just stresses me out.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry. I threw you off. I'm
Just
so
a
sorry.
huge boner before your wedding stresses you out. We gotta go.
Got it. Yeah.
Go, go, go.
No boners till afterwards.
Go.
When the sheet's in between you.
Don't let him stop you.
Anyway.
Don't let him stop you.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, Mormons.
okay.
Sorry. Well, it goes back to last week's review.
Yeah, no, you're in.
Yeah.
You're in. That wasn't out of pocket. That was actually pretty great.
Thank you.
Anyway, ragers.
Ragers.
Yeah.
Ragers.
Drinking before the wedding.
Drinking and just
Robbers,
getting
yeah.
hammered and all that stresses me out. So I was kind of like on edge the entire time, even if I didn't know what the movie was. I was like, something's gonna go wrong because these people are taking all kinds of substances and all this, and it was just like you're on the edge, like, okay, something terrible is gonna happen, and it does, and it's crazy how they deal with it. I agree. I really had a fun time with it. I liked the visuals of it a lot, how they showed different things happening. It was incredible.
The
I really liked it. Lighting,
like even just the lighting of the
tricks
set.
of the light. Yeah.
So fun.
Oh no.
Noel's gonna shit all over.
No.
our
There's a
cornflakes.
couple of things. First of all,
You
I
love
can't-
ragers before
I can't-
weddings.
and boners. I can't hear the title without hearing a song in my head because
It's What's Inside.
it's the title track of Waitress the Musical by Sarah Bareilles. What's Inside?
Oh,
So
you do love Sarah Bareilles.
after every single time, I do love Sarah Bareilles.
He does.
Every time
Got a crush.
I saw the title, because this was like filtered to me through Netflix a couple times, and I did see the trailer before this. But every time I saw it, I just hear the sugar, butter, flour, which is what's inside, which is really funny.
So,
But
real quick,
and then
the trailer you said you've seen.
Yeah.
Does the trailer reveal?
Yes.
The game.
yeah, absolutely.
I actually never saw the trailer. I just heard someone talking about it. I was like, oh.
Also, a bunch of people on film Twitter were just like, "Hey, don't sleep on this. It's cool."
Yeah.
Before I tell you what I thought about the movie, I think one of the biggest benefits of the streaming era is the opportunity for filmmakers to make weird shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But also they disappear very quickly, which is kind of a
That's
bummer.
just it. Like it's up to us to like champion stuff, but this would not have. I don't think a movie like this would necessarily have happened. Like young filmmakers get to do fun, weird things because the algorithm gives them an audience of whatever size. Now that's still a mystery, and the financial model is wild because it doesn't benefit the artists. But like film school acolytes have more platforms and more opportunities for getting stuff made than they ever did when we were growing up. And I think that's awesome, because this is definitely like, this would have been, maybe you saw it at a film festival and eventually found the DVD because you heard about it on a forum. Like, the
chat room.
This is I was watching it thinking like, this is fucking cool that this is readily available in my living room.
And then
I mean, I really liked it. I wasn't as hot as you guys. There's a lot of things that didn't really work for me, but just technically, the movie is absolutely gorgeous. Like they shot it in full frame with multi-camera tricks for like a lot of just talking scenes, which made it so incredibly visually dynamic when it didn't have to be.
Too, right?
Yeah, you had like multi-camera stuff, or there's a couple of times when they did like 4 or 5 multi-camera at once, and I assume Dylan, you can help me out. I assume they're programmed in order to make sure that they maintain like shot consistency. There's one scene specifically, I won't say what it involves, but it's 6 people sitting around in a room. They're all in the same shot, and then they all get their own, like seamlessly get their own oneers, and then the screen splits into 6 different side screens. They all had to be there for that. So there was multiple things, whereas there's a scene where 2 people are in a car and the screen splits, and then you find that you see them both.
That's such a good shot.
But they're not both there at the same time. Like that's just one camera matching. So there's like they play with a lot of stuff, and I was incredibly impressed that it was in full frame. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I didn't.
It's in 4:3, so like there's black bars on the side.
That's not a thing that registers for me,
because
kind of like subtitles.
It's like seeing a movie in IMAX. Like the scope is just wider, and it's just pretty wild to do that for a movie that's mostly talking. And then when they start to pull in all the camera tricks, you're just like, oh, that's fucking why. Because you wanted to lose the lower third, you wanted to split the screen up here, you wanted to like, sorry, bottom third. But it's just a really, really impressive movie. I do think that it fell apart a little bit at the end. And it still kind of bugs me that it fell apart in the end, but it was still such a cool experience that it's totally a positive. This is a cool movie.
Can I ask you guys a question about a different movie that I thought was similar to this? Have you ever seen Coherence?
Yes.
It reminded me of Coherence.
We reviewed it on the show like 7 years ago.
Oh my God.
I think longer than that. It was before me.
It's been out for a while, but I like every once in a while, like I'll think about Coherence, and I'm like, I really like that movie, and I'll give it a rewatch, and I'm like,
that's a movie a lot of people slept on.
Did you ever see Primer?
No, I haven't seen Primer.
Primer's a great movie too. Yeah, Dylan's like nodding his head. It's like an 80-minute, just tight as fuck.
Love that.
Time travel movie with 2 speaking parts.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Cool. Absolutely awesome.
Definitely hurts your head a little, but it's worth it.
Shane Carruth.
There's another one in that same sort of Predestination. Have you seen Predestination?
Weirdest movie ever. I could. Sorry, that movie's like a trigger for me. That movie is so ridiculous.
I love how ridiculous it is.
It's an Aurora Boreas kind of a movie. Like it starts and ends at the same moment kind of a thing. I think the magic trick of the movie is really great, but if you pull a thread, it's not great at all.
See, I just didn't pull any threads.
I like to just sit in my 20% of
what I do is don't think.
Just stop that.
And then,
first of all,
everything's
you'll
great.
be much happier.
No, it was a good experience. I actually like those directors. I think they're the Spierig brothers. They did that vampire movie with Ethan Hawke, Daybreakers.
The little vampire?
The little,
I haven't talked about it in a while.
Ethan Hawke and Richard E. Grant. And I don't know, Jonathan Lipnicki. Who the fuck is the kid? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. He's not the little vampire, but he's in,
he's
in there.
I didn't presume he was the little vampire, the epitomis little vampire.
Do we all recommend this movie to before we get into spoilers?
Yeah.
See it. It's good.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
You'll like it.
Just watch it. It's really, really good. I
It's
really
what's
like it.
inside.
And, you know, for people who are maybe squeamish and think it's a horror movie, I don't think it is. I think it's being labeled one and it's being discussed in horror circles, but I don't think it's a horror movie at all.
Or thriller. It's
as much as a thriller as a horror movie. It's got a fantastical element.
Yeah.
And it's treacherous. So yeah, it's horror.
Okay.
Sci-fi horror, sci-fi thriller.
horror, yeah.
Sure.
It's not fucking before sunset. So it's it's fine.
Excuse me.
Label it whatever you want.
Anyway, just watch it. It's great. We're going to move into spoilers starting now.
And that includes the plot. Just the premise.
This is the idea of the film. So, my man, they're pre-wedding, right? They're getting together.
Pre-wedding
rager.
Raffia.
They're
Hashtag
doing,
Raffia.
They're doing the
Ruben and
drugs and the
Sophia are
drinks.
getting married.
And
I started trying to come up with one for me and Costa. It was like Constantinalis. Castalis.
It could be a phrase too, though. Like, you know, whatever. We'll workshop it. We'll get you a hashtag.
Right. Yeah. We don't need one. It's fine. I actually,
we'll get you a hashtag.
I already have a hashtag.
Oh, shit.
My big fat geek wedding.
Oh,
that's cute.
That's good. So anyway, party happens. Dude who shows up.
Nobody better steal that.
Nobody
by the way,
really
before
likes.
next
I think like he sort of.
Somebody might have used it at some point too. Like maybe you want to put initials or a date to it. Sorry. Anyway, I'm sorry. You were talking about something?
Was I?
I don't know. I tuned out.
Dude shows up and he's got a box, and inside the box is a brain swap machine.
He's also an estranged former
That's what I
friend.
said.
Oh, sorry.
You guys were talking over, so you probably didn't hear it. That's fine.
Sorry.
Go on. He's strange. Nobody likes him. He shows up.
You know what? Why don't you just go ahead and describe it better if you want to describe it?
Oh, no, don't put me in the middle of this. I'm going to leave.
No, I had to double down. I'm sorry.
I quit.
Yeah.
Comfortable now?
No,
he's making fun of me.
Yeah, I'm making fun of him.
You would describe it better than I did.
Yeah, like, hey,
but I don't want to be put in the
I'd rather
middle
listen
of it.
to you is what I'm trying to say. Just get.
So, go ahead.
No, I don't want to now.
How many friends is it?
I would say
4, 8. College friends. And yeah, they're getting together for a weekend before his wedding, and
the night before his wedding. The night before.
And they throw in the movie does start with some like very tense dynamics between the group too. Yeah. Like one friend, one guy has been in a relationship with the other girl in the group for 9 years, but he still laments and masturbates to the other friend who's an influencer, and
Nikki.
just like a bunch of shit. Yeah.
He even suggests his girlfriend wear wigs that
look like her,
suspiciously like the other girl, and she's onto it.
She's been practicing the catchphrase in the mirror kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it starts with such an interesting dynamic just with those two characters that I was immediately sort of drawn in and kind of curious about it. You don't really get that upfront character work that kind of ingratiates you to what's going on, I think, in a lot of movies.
You know what's great about this script?
Tell me.
It's tight. That's it.
Okay,
so
that was a pretty tight description.
I heard this from Brian Michael Bendis, who took it from David Mamet. When you're writing a scene, if you know the characters well enough, you don't have to introduce anything. You start it halfway through a thought and you leave before the conversation's over.
Yeah.
You just, it's all impactful. So the fact that we are smash cut into her practicing a line in a mirror, and then it devolves into a fight that we don't even get to see the end of. It's just, it was just so fucking effective.
Yeah.
And so engaging. And the whole movie's like that too, where we're introduced to something and then all of a sudden it smacks to some other conversation and you're just constantly kind of like falling forward into the narrative. Really, really tight script. Really, really cool movie.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think all the actors involved had just a giant chore ahead of them that I think they handled pretty well.
Oh, can you say why? We've finished talking about the mind swapping?
Well, yeah. So they decide for fun as a party game, a la
Werewolf or Mafia.
Well, what's the Talk to Me, right? Where it's sort of this. Sure. Yeah, we're using I
didn't see that
possession as a party drug.
No, it's I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's
check it out.
It's fun.
Yeah, check it out.
I have to pick and choose exactly when to watch horror movies.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so
pretty good.
I heard it's a unforgiving ending. But
Oh, it's pretty rough. Yeah. So anyway, it becomes a party drug of these. Let's all get together. We'll put on the readers, whatever the
nodes.
Mhm.
and we'll swap bodies, but we won't know who we've swapped, who everyone is,
Except for the guy.
except for the guy who programs the machine.
He describes himself as like the dungeon master.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so everybody in the table, they swap bodies with someone else, and the goal is to guess who each person is.
Yeah, and when you guess correctly, you're out of the round. If you guess incorrectly, you're out of the round, and
Yeah.
you just
And you have to
kinda
put
keep
a
going.
photo of who you actually are. They
Yeah.
all take Polaroid photos in the
Yeah.
beginning. And
Which
Yeah.
sounds
Slap photo.
great until
does
maybe-
it sound?
until you're not entirely truthful.
It goes to shit in round one.
Yeah.
But so when you
I
guys
thought it sounded like a nightmare from Jump. I'm like,
this is a terrible idea altogether. You were gonna say something, Dill?
Technically, it started out as shit, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Also, so you guys were talking
you're
about the
right.
lighting.
That's true.
I just got that done.
Nice reveal at the end there.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about the ending,
Yeah.
or sorry, the lighting. Sorry, the lighting.
But that house is ridiculous.
I had seen the. There's a scene where the artist is talking about her art and then
Brooke?
everything is it's like
Yeah.
RGB, everything is different colors, and you just like move it on. I'm like, I don't know why that entire explanation and sequence made my eyes roll.
Koso was that happened, and Koso's like, that's good. It's something like that's gonna happen later.
Yeah.
Something he's like that. Yeah.
There was nothing organic about it. It was just like, because like I don't know, like a more organic conversation in my imagination of that would just be like, how cool this is, and then this one, not I'm going to explain to you the color spectrum. I'm going to explain to all my high friends the color spectrum and how each one is a designation to like. So like when they started doing it in the movie to show you who's actually talking and it's red or blue, and I was like, okay. It was the first time I saw the seams, and I was like,
Oh, see, to me,
All right,
since
fine, that's
everyone's
fine.
high, I think there are people who just get into that mode of over-explaining a
Over-explaining.
thing and just like getting into the thing and then just sort of blah.
right on.
So to me, it just sort of worked like that.
I tuned down a little.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. What did you have any other issues? It
I have
falls apart in the end.
I've had a good couple of issues. Yeah. Like I think it, so everyone's an asshole. And two characters decide to have sex on the roof,
In different people's bodies.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
is just
thinking that they're different people too. Like he doesn't know that that's Maya. No, Vicky inside of Maya. He thinks it's Nikki.
It's Brooke. It's
Oh,
Brooke.
it's Brooke. He thinks it's Nikki.
He doesn't
Yes.
know who it is. He's just obsessed with
He's
the fact that
obsessed
it's
with Maya.
Maya's body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And it's
Well, it
it's
doesn't
Brooke
matter who's in the
inside
body.
of
I don't
Yeah.
think Brooke cared that it was Ruben and Dennis's body. Shelby's in Nikki's body and lied
Yeah.
to her boyfriend who's in Forbes's body about it
Yeah.
because she was playing the game, and then she tries to bone him, and then it gets weird. But they don't bone.
Yeah. No.
Two people
the
boning.
two people that do bone in round 3 fall off the roof and die. Their bodies are dead, different people inside their heads. Now they have seen their bodies dead and fucking off a roof.
Such a cool idea.
Yeah, so
It's a
now
really,
these-
really cool idea.
Of like,
Yeah.
I'm in someone else's body right now, and my original body is dead.
There is,
Yeah.
You can't get back into it.
wildly terrifying and
Just
actually really
seeing
crazy.
yourself dead.
Yeah.
That moment is really effective. And then the movie escalates to 60 in a split second, and it just feels so fucking forced.
Oh.
They don't even have a 2-second conversation about like, wait, does that mean I have to go into that body? No. Dennis immediately strong arms and like everybody just immediately gets incredibly territorial about what they're inside, as opposed to not a single person wants to just like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like it felt like the movie needed it to escalate as opposed to everyone's freaking out and it escalated.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, really bugged me. Like Dennis went from that's wild inside of Cyrus's body to I'm actually right now I'm going to frame you for murder. And then also this, and then also that. I'm like, when did it get there?
Right.
Like it was just so fucking fast because I think like the movie looked at its watch and it needed to be in the third act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took like a really, really good amount of time to like really set up and get to know these people. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh wait, we have to wrap this up. Let's just go crazy. And like, it just didn't feel like a very good transition for me. It was really, really quick. And then Shelby immediately being like, no, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
like
That's her change. Shelby, our main protagonist. I think she's our main protagonist, right?
Yeah.
Her turn was like,
it was really
what just happened? How did you become this?
on paper. I could plot it out and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But in the moment, the way that the movie turned from act 2 to 3 in like such a jarring fashion,
Yeah.
it lost me a little bit.
Mhm.
And then where it escalates to, it just kept losing me.
See, I wasn't that shocked by Shelby.
Really?
Shelby
No.
made more sense than Dennis, to be completely honest
Yeah.
with you. Dennis didn't know that he might be stuck in that body forever. And he's literally confessing to
Murder.
murdering 2 people.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like,
I thought that was strange.
and then, how it all transpired too, to like the end of it all, not the
Twist.
I mean, like, Cyrus is a dick. He's not a good person.
Yeah.
He's not double homicide bad person.
That was
No.
my gripe too. I'm like, is she going to testify in court against him and lie under oath just because he
Gonna
was a
perjure
bad
herself, yeah.
boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Because he's a dick.
He's emotionally immature. He's abusive. He's emotionally abusive. He's a piece of shit. He's not a double homicide dude.
Yeah.
And
So,
they
like,
just
that's
let
again,
him.
that's the Shelby thing. That's the Shelby of her. I'm like,
But then,
this is what a switch.
yeah, like that whole, like the way that transpired from there to there, I started, the movie became less interesting and more gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever.
I wonder if it's saying something about the effect of being in someone else's body may have on your psyche.
That was a plot of it too. Like when we find out about Beatrice, the sister, to her, it's a drug, just jumping from body to body.
Yeah.
That's fine. But again, like you can plot all these things out and they make sense for the way that the character started.
Mm-hmm.
The movie paced it to where it's a switch flip.
Gotcha.
And that bothered me. Not how it actually transpired and who ended up in whose body and the plan that they ended up making.
Just the pacing.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that the movie did just kind of like flip.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like, I guess good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wasn't really good
No,
for her.
I
This
didn't
isn't good for her.
But the movie
that's what
framed it that
it
way.
wanted to be.
Yeah,
And it was like, what?
Yeah, if he was a double homicide guy, great. Yeah,
No, he
he's
wasn't.
not.
He's
Yeah.
not.
He's just kind of a shitty dude.
He's a shitty boyfriend who doesn't know
good
how to break
boyfriend.
up with a girl.
Yeah.
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 I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's gone. Good. Sorry.
I love watching, this is such a niche thing, but I love watching actors pretend to be
The
other actors,
Yes,
like take on their
yes.
mannerisms and
Of
stuff.
course.
There's one of my favorite episodes of What We Do in the Shadows where it's, do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly
Or
what you're talking about.
Nandor's trying to like hit on a girl at the gym, but he can't do it because he's too shy. So the thing is, he gives people like this magic robe that turn him into him. So it's really that actor pretending to be like Matt Berry.
Oh.
And it's so funny, or pretending.
I haven't seen that one.
It's
That sounds
so funny, and it's just watching him do every other person, or like freaking Colin Robinson, the like really the energy man. Oh my god,
I gotta see that.
it's such a good episode. It's one of my favorites. Just
Nice.
And so like watching this, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like you take like whenever somebody was Cyrus, I knew
Yeah.
because of his like weird little mannerisms, and he talks like this. He's like a little awkward.
Pink jumped in the chat. She had mentioned, I wouldn't change bodies with anybody, regardless of how desirable people would consider the other person. Even at gunpoint, having a hard time just buying the premise. Why I bought it is because they all didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
He gave them, so that when we were talking about like the cool camera work, they all just kind of trusted, oh, we're going to do this like Sonic thing. Cool. And they all put the nodes on and it became a 6 split screen. And he hit the button and all of them were different for 20 seconds. And then they all came back. It was presented like the first taste of a drug.
Yeah.
Not everyone signed the dotted line that you will be switching bodies.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely
that
a surprise the first time.
that was much more believable. The fact that like they got a taste of this like wild sensation and like, if you're saying it's safe, I think we can maybe do it. And we're all here together.
And we're all
And
friends.
he showed Shelby how the machine worked. She was the most hesitant. He's like, I'll show you how it works, and then you'll feel better about it. And that comes back later.
Speaking of how it works, I am so glad they don't bother with any of that.
Oh, they do.
They do.
What? How does it work?
Plugs from like 1 to 1. Like,
I mean, how it works.
Oh, how that? Oh, sorry.
The
I
pseudoscience.
was like,
of-
they plug it in the
Forbes-
thing. you
my
know?
guys, me and my guys have been working on something, and then we did it. Like that's all I need.
Wait,
Yeah.
Forbes does do a brief explanation of why and how it works. It's just a brainwaves being data and being able to transfer the data from one hard drive to
it's
another.
like one hard drive to another. That's all. That's all you need.
That's the pseudoscience of it all.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
like, and that's bullshit. It's fine.
Sam says she was meek
Shelby.
pre-body switch. Then she gained confidence. Confidence of Nikki. I see how she became this way.
Sure.
Yeah. And as far as that switch, 2 people are now dead in the wrong bodies. So I feel like that really ratchets up everyone's a mood. So that that sort of
but
thing. I was like,
was-
this is pretty quick, but also a strange
Not
situation.
a single like I don't know why. Like I don't know why, but it seemed so. The logical thing was those 2 extra bodies, they're your bodies now, and everyone that still has their existing other body goes back into theirs.
Mhm.
That's not even mentioned
Right.
or discussed
It is.
after everyone goes fucking crazy.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, because he
after
says, well,
Dennis-
clearly you have to,
Yeah.
Dennis and Cyrus's body saying,
Yeah.
well, clearly you have to go back
It was
into,
like literally
what's-
just like
yeah.
an order of events where like one person being like, well, I mean, obviously they have to go back in there and you get your body back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No one does that. It's just like I'm going to frame you for murder
Yeah.
and I'm in your body. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know, they're under the influence and obviously going through to bring back that big glowing sign in the beginning trauma.
Yeah.
So I feel like none of them seem like Alex's or Dennis's character does not seem very smart to begin with. So it doesn't surprise me that he'd escalate and do something dumb without thinking about the consequences.
I do think like, again, if we plotted it out on paper, it absolutely makes sense. Most like what they decide to do when they decide to do it. But in the process of the movie, it just felt like such a weird escalation on a dime because the movie was slowly escalating.
Yeah.
To the point where they went in the first hour or hour and 15 minutes, they went from like their regular world and then timid, unsure, and then starting to like press at the boundaries of in bodies, out of bodies, outside of their relationships, outside of their comfort zones. Like the movie was like escalating to something fucking cool. And then it just like fell off a cliff into the shit. And
Fell off a balcony.
it just, basically, I don't know. It felt really inorganic. And then I was trying to catch up with the movie after that, as opposed to just letting it wash over me.
Yeah.
And then when we end up at you're going to jail for the rest of your life because you masturbate to porn instead of have sex with your girlfriend. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That seemed a bit like what? Oh,
yeah,
this is how
you're
we're
afraid of
ending it?
commitment.
Mhm.
Enjoy jail.
Yeah, I thought that was
And
for murder.
No, I'm kidding.
and it's not like
Good for her.
Good for her. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I hate the fact too that I felt like oddly defensive of this like shitty dude.
Yeah.
Because he is an antagonist in the entire movie.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know. It feels like
A bit much.
it feels like he asked somebody to turn off their cell phone in a movie theater and got shot,
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
as opposed to, I don't know, like shut up or an argument.
Mhm.
Like, ugh. And then there's a bigger twist at the end. I don't like if you guys want to talk about that.
Oh, sure. With Forbes' body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his sister.
It wasn't Forbes at all the whole time.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
It was his sister who had a relationship, a statutory rape.
Yeah.
Situation
an
with
underage
Dennis.
relationship with Dennis.
And then he lied about it and said she was obsessed with him and started dating Nikki. And she apparently had what Forbes described at the end when he comes in Beatrice's body to explain what happened. It's an episode. She had episodes, and she had an episode so bad she went to the mental hospital.
Yeah.
And she came home when he was trying to connect with her. So he showed her a brain swapping machine.
I thought it would connect us.
And it didn't go well.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of a fun switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my biggest gripe is the end of this movie, where it's just like, woof, that is a very aggressive ending for not it didn't get me where it needed me to be.
Yeah.
I don't think. And Sam says, let me be clear, I don't think he deserved to be framed for that.
No, I don't
Nah.
think so either.
Like I'm all for a good for her, like a good for her movie. But this one was just like, oh, she's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't even believe it was Shelby anymore either because she was so different. He's like, who are you really?
I kept waiting
and
to
she's
find
like,
out.
it's Shelby.
Yeah,
and
I kept waiting to find out that it was somebody
Really?
else. And it's like, oh no, that's actually Shelby. She's just gone crazy. I don't know.
I loved how Maya, who's the body that died, but her brain was still in somebody else.
Yeah.
She's Buddhist. And so she just kept being like, this is just my rebirth, guys. She was like super chill about it. And they're like, no, you're in my body. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it's what is it? Dennis is in Forbes. Forbes is in his sister. Maya's in, I forget her name.
Brooke, yeah.
And Nikki is
is in Ruben's.
in Ruben's body, yeah.
Ruben.
And that's the only
That's
time
right.
they switch genders.
That's
too.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Which
noticed
was an
that too.
interesting choice.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Beatrice ran
Beatrice is in Nikki.
off. Is in Nikki, and she stole all of Dennis's money.
all of his money, and has the machine still. And
Has
she's
the
also an influence, like a global influencer.
Yeah.
This was a really, really cool experience. I think this is a cool movie.
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, so Pink's in the chat saying, I'm so very tired of seeing movies that start out and run great, but then completely shit the ending. It's so frustrating and it seems to happen all the time now. Do you think that this movie shits the ending?
I don't think it shits the bed in the ending. I do think that it rushes its ending. And because the first half is so strong, it's more obvious how much it feels rushed. Does that make sense? Like, again, plot it all out. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But I think pacing wise, it kind of shits the bed a little bit. And then maybe the movie doesn't know what to do with Cyrus. I don't know. But it's pretty fucking
Sending
weird.
him to prisons.
Even if it was like everyone agreed that they're going to send him down the river, because how else would they explain it? Wait.
I mean, they just fell off a balcony.
Fell off a balcony. Yeah,
just
They were
say
having
nothing
sex
needs to be
and
explained.
fell off a balcony. There was no murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't like.
Yeah, it falls apart for me a little bit, but not so much that this isn't worth watching.
Pink,
Yeah.
so much of this movie is very cool and engaging and interesting and original that the way the sort of the last 5 minutes doesn't really ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just made me go, oh, that was a lot.
It's more like the last 25 minutes, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the email is at cultpopgo@gmail.com. If you have seen It's What's Inside, let us know what you thought of it.
Support original movies. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is cool. This is a cool one.
Okay. What would you call the camera, the way that they do flashbacks? They're telling a story that happened in the past.
That was so fun.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
It looked like still pictures, and then they'd add things.
It was like
still Photoshop.
It was
like people.
still animation.
Still animation.
It was pretty cool.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
It was like black and white photos.
I don't
of the
know what to call that segment.
Yeah.
Like the trick that they use.
Almost like a collage to me.
Collage.
Yeah.
Yes, collage is great.
It was like yeah.
Collage is good.
It was very, very cool.
Yeah. So it's worth checking out just for the filmmaking.
This director, I give them $100 million and let's see what happens.
Greg Jardin.
Because it is an incredibly impressive looking movie for where it's at. So
he also did some Cowboy Bebop, the live action
stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, most of it looked pretty.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it.
So anyway, all right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Next week, we're going to be discussing for Thanksgiving 2 horror comedy classics.
That's right.
Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And Thanksgiving 3.
Yep. And you heard that right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving,
it's about
Thanksgiving 3.
a murderous turkey. So join us then.
It's also about like life and dreams and hope and Muppets.
Ragers.
And Muppets.
And Ragers.
Yeah. Ragers the night before your wedding.
Ragers of Chainsaw Ragers.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.